Welcome to the Heavy in the Games podcast. The NBA season has come to a conclusion. As we turn our attention to the NFL, special guest and Tampa Bay Bucs beat writer Rick Brown joins us for a segment we call Rappin with Rick Brown, where we discuss the latest happenings around the league. The Heavy in the Games podcast starts right now.
Going up to LaFell, touchdown. The fake to Green, Sanchez, over the middle, touchdown. Play action, Cutler wide open, Sanzenbacher.
Welcome, everyone, to Heavy in the Game Sports Radio. My name is Fred Perdue. I am your host, and we are back. I just got to say, I got my Phil Steele magazine in this week, so football season has officially began, but that's college football. We're here to talk a little NFL football, and today we have Rick Brown, a guest of the show, a guy that I really, really respect, and a guy that he's just a friend of the show, and, you know, how else can we do this without having to rap with Rick Brown to start this NFL coverage off?
What's up, my friend? What's going on?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I really have to give you a big thank you because to pull back the curtain a little bit, you're on vacation from what I understand, and you're in a state that really, really loves its basketball, not its football.
Yes. I'm here in North Carolina. Actually, I'm at the place where the 2014 U.S. Opens, both men and women's U.S. Opens, will be held here at Pinehurst. So I'm overlooking this little lake right now, and let's just say life is good right now. Life is real good.
Hey, enjoy it, man. You work hard enough to enjoy that, and get it in as much as you can because it's a grind in a couple weeks, and I understand you know how it is. And while you're there, please send a note to Michael Jordan to tighten up with that whole NBA draft thing and running that team there. I heard there's a team there. I don't know. I haven't really seen much of a team. I've seen a lot of players running around in jerseys, but not really a team.
Well, I might catch Mike on one of these golf courses out here, I'm sure. But I'm not really looking for him. No, indeed.
One guy I know you really would not want to catch right now and to go into the NFL a little bit is Aaron Hernandez, a guy that really we thought all of his problems were behind him, the issues at Florida, allegedly breaking and entering, stealing PlayStation 3 game consoles, the marijuana, a lot hanging around guys that were not the most ideal people to hang around. Yet he is involved in a murder case, and it gets deeper and deeper every single day. Aaron Hernandez just received a 5-year contract for $41 million last season, a huge contract. In the wake of Gronk getting hurt and him being the man at tight end, and he just squanders it away. What's going on, Rick?
Well, let's not jump to conclusions right away. I mean, right now it looks bad, but this is a great country we're in, and you are innocent until proven guilty. So let's not jump the gun. But I have to admit, it doesn't look good for Aaron Hernandez. And you're right. It's kind of sad that, you know, it seems like things had turned around for him after all the alleged incidents while he was in college. But, I mean, and that's why the Patriots signed him to that extension. So everyone liked him. Everyone seemed to, well, not everyone liked him. I don't think Matt Light was a big fan of his, but one of his former teammates came out and supported him. Who was it? Deion Branch, who just said, you know, he was a great teammate. So he had made a change, it's just sad that now that he's in this situation, he's got himself involved in this situation some kind of way. And let's just hope that justice is served, no matter what happens, because in the end, there's a young man who's dead, and we cannot forget that. There's a family who's grieving now because of the death of a young man, and that, no matter what happens to Aaron Hernandez, that won't change. And so I'm not going to, if Aaron Hernandez is found guilty or innocent, that's not going to change that fact.
Definitely, and as a resident New England Patriots fan, this is really a big blow. You have Wes Welker essentially leaving. You have a bunch of rookie wide receivers coming in. Julian Edelman. You have Rob Gronkowski, a.k.a. Gronk, but he's injured as well, going off after having multiple surgeries over and over. I'm still waiting on him to party one more time and just do the expected thing, and that is do what Gronk does, party and mess it up again. But this team essentially is really without weapons right now, and granted, they still have Tom Brady, and that is the ultimate defining factor. Without Tom Brady, this team is average. It is very below average. I would even say the Jets, their in-division rival, would have more talent at the wide receiver position and across the board than the New England Patriots, and that is very, very odd to see. But when you have Tom Brady, a lot of those issues go away.
Indeed, and Brady is the key to that squad, like most quarterbacks are. But you left out a very important figure there that you also have. This guy right here can make or break something. I'm not going to say a team, but he can make or break something. You also have the man, the myth, the legend, Aqib Talib. I know where you thought I was going. You also have that running back, another Tampa connection that you just got to love. You got LeGarrette. Get out my way, bro. Blunt. I mean, the Patriots are going to be fine. And, of course, you do have Tim Tebow. So, I mean, who knows what the Patriots are going to do? I mean, it's the Patriots' way to come up with some kind of way to get out of this and to still be competitive. But with those three guys, and the Brady guy too, y'all will be all right.
Well, I will say the Patriots, they really established a running game last season, and that is one of the things that I really, really enjoyed seeing. The passing numbers are great, but the teams that can run the football are the teams that tend to at least get a championship or two, a la the Giants, the Steelers, the Ravens, as well as the Saints. And those teams were all able to run the football, as well as the Colts. They were able to run the football as well when it came down to it. The Patriots have Stephen Ridley, you have Brandon Bolden, you have LeGarrette Blount, as you mentioned. You have Shane Vereen in the backfield as well. No more Danny Woodhead, that's fine. He was more of a bit of a tweener. So you have this. You have a bevy of backs that you can use to offset that passing game and let those guys kind of settle in. And that Tim Tebow guy, if he wants to come in and contribute, I guess we can. But until he contributes on the field, we have instituted Prop 15 or whatever number he'll wear. Really doesn't matter. His numbers are relevant. He's a third-string quarterback, which institutes Prop 15. We do not talk about Tim Tebow on this show until he contributes on the field.
Oh, you have a ban on Tim Tebow?
Sure do.
Hey, all my Florida Gator lovers out there, please bombard Fred Perdue with this insanity that he's doing. He's buying into the Tebow hype or lack of hype, and I think you guys ought to really jump on him because of this, because Tim Tebow is a fine young man, is a fine individual, and the Patriots are lucky to have him. Go Tim Tebow.
At F Purdue Sports, that is, on Twitter. You can hit me up on Twitter, at F Purdue Sports. If you have any rants about this Tim Tebow situation that we have put into place, but Tim Tebow is a guy that doesn't get in trouble, and I think a lot of these players in the NFL should take a lesson out of his book. Be quiet.
Indeed.
Do nothing.
Indeed.
Go to church. Doesn't matter.
Indeed.
Just don't get arrested. Since the Super Bowl, there have been 27 players arrested, and most recently, this really, really, really bothers me. Why would you have a gun charge, of all things, a gun charge after you have a guy in Aaron Hernandez that decides to have – Aaron Hernandez has a situation with gun-related issues, and you decide to have a gun charge with alcohol in the car. Come on, man. Come on.
You know,
Why?
This is all
of those 27
say,
players in the NFL, that is 1% of the NFL. 1% active rosters are in trouble.
Fred, just because you went to college, just because you have money, that doesn't change who you are. You know, and what's really disturbing to me is that, you know, athletes, since they are young, they are taught to be leaders. They're not, you know, I hear a lot of people talk about, and I think you even mentioned it earlier in this show, how people hang with the wrong crowd. But athletes are taught to be leaders. They should be leading the crowd. You know, they're the ones who are put on the pedestal early. I'm not saying it's right, but they are. So they're the ones who should be leading. And some people just don't get that. And it's sad when you mention 1% of the NFL been arrested since the Super Bowl. I mean, even though that is a small number in comparison to society as a whole, athletes are more visible. They're in the spotlight more, so it's going to get not blown out of proportion, because any crime is a crime, but it's going to get more publicity. And I know the Shield, the leaders of the Guardians of the Shield, they don't like that one bit, because the NFL is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and we all know what the NFL will stand for if you keep messing around. Not for long.
Definitely, and of those 27 players, Joe LeFedge of the Indianapolis Colts, sir, if you ever happen to, if my voice can reach you, please, 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 get it together, sir. Get it together. That is my public service announcement. I don't get it when you have these players that just, you're oblivious to the fact. You have Aaron Hernandez again, who he just recently, you saw him walking away in handcuffs. Well, you didn't really see the handcuffs because his arms were in his shirt, but you know where I'm going. He walked away in handcuffs, and you get a gun charge after having alcohol in the car and running away from a traffic stop.
Dumb.
I don't get it. I just don't get it. And whatever comes to these players that tend to do these things, they get what they deserve. And granted, it sounds bad, and a lot of it is they're minor charges, maybe a DUI or substance abuse. We all know it's the Adderall or the marijuana. We all know usually that's what it is at this point. We're not going to sugarcoat it here. But these are the problems that are really in the NFL right now, and until these problems are fixed, unfortunately, we will have more suspensions. And honestly, the players, the one trend that I saw when looking at all of the players that have been arrested, they're all defensive backs, linebackers, and defensive linemen, and wide receivers. No quarterbacks.
Well, I don't think that's. I think that just happenstance.
One offensive.
But I don't. You know, Fred, on the real, I know this is your show, and I'm not really trying to take over it, man. But I'm tired of talking of all these knuckleheads, man. Who you make one mistake, that's fine. Everyone makes mistakes in life, and everyone deserves second chances. But you make bad choices after bad choices. They don't deserve the press, man. Let's give press to people who really deserve it. Guys like, and I'm gonna mention a few Bucs players because that's who I cover. But like the Davin Josephs, the Josh Freemans, the Vincent Jacksons who put on these camps for kids. Darrelle Revis had a camp the other week. Donald Penn put on a camp the other week. Gerald McCoy, who just got married, congratulations to Gerald McCoy, went to his home in Oklahoma and helped out there. Let's give these athletes who are doing positive things, let's give them some props because, the knuckleheads will be knuckleheads, but we don't give enough love, enough props to the guys who are doing right. And, like you said, there are 99% of the ones who of the NFL that are doing the right things. So from Rick Brown to you guys, hey, much love. Keep doing great things because you're the reason why, kids look up to athletes. And those are the examples that these kids should follow if they are going to follow athletes and not these knuckleheads who continue to get in trouble and to do stupid things just because you have money, just because you think you're on top of the world. Guess what, baby? The law says you won't, and you're going to get what you deserve, so you better straighten up. My rant is over.
And I do agree with you. A lot of these players are doing great things out there, and I look at a guy that doesn't get a lot of press, but is a guy that he did it the right way, and that's Brandon Deadrick doing a camp for the Jacksonville Jaguars, doing camps for kids, and these are the things that really matter in the NFL. It's not. We all know these guys can play football. We all know that. But what can you do for people in your community, kids, the next generation? How can you make an impact on someone's life? A kid at a young age, myself included, as a young kid, whenever you meet an athlete, you just think they're Superman. It's something about a kid and meeting an athlete, regardless if they're at the bottom of the roster or they're a superstar like Tom Brady or Peyton Manning or Robert Griffin III. There's just something about them. They're like Superman to you, and when you make an impact in those young kids' lives, they'll never forget it.
Indeed.
Now, Indeed. The NFL offseason is progressing onward, and so far, who are your winners and losers? I only need one on both sides. Your winner of the offseason so far for this offseason.
Wow, there are a few teams that stand out. I think, I think it comes down to one or two teams for me, and because I think the Tampa Bay Bucs did a great job during the off season. I think they picked up some pieces that they needed. There's still some question marks, but I think if everyone returns healthy, they're going to be someone to reckon with. But I have to go with the San Francisco 49ers. And even with the injury to Crabtree, with Bolden there, I just think this team is going to come back. I mean, you saw they were a couple plays away from winning the Super Bowl. I think this year is going to be their year where they make that next step and go ahead and win it. So I think the San Francisco 49ers are a winner in my book.
And you're one loser for this.
Wow. Where do I go? Do I go Patriots because of the things that have happened to them? Do I go the New York Jets for just being the New York Jets? Let's just keep it in Florida. Let's just say the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't know if they've upgraded their roster. I don't care if Blaine Gabbert or Chad Henne or Chad Gabbert is quarterbacking. It doesn't matter. Other than Maurice Jones-Drew, what weapons do they have offensively? And I'm sorry, I couldn't tell you an impactful defensive player that they have off the top of my head right now. Having said that, the Jacksonville Jaguars will be one of the worst teams in the league this year, and again. And I think it's going to take a while for this new staff to get it together.
Well, the Jacksonville Jaguars did acquire a guy in Denard Robinson who they call they're labeled. He has no position. There is a new position in the NFL. We all know there's a quarterback, a running back, a cornerback, a wide receiver. No. He is an OW, an offensive weapon. It's the first time I've ever heard of this, and I really must say the Jacksonville Jaguars are hitching their wagon to a rookie wide receiver running back that has never played the position on a full-time basis. And these are the problems with teams like the Jacksonville Jaguars. You're taking guys like Denard Robinson instead of taking offensive and defensive linemen. I digress. You hit it spot on, loser, for this offseason. Really, you didn't upgrade your quarterback position. You did not upgrade your wide receiver position. Justin Blackmon is suspended for a couple games. Maurice Jones-Drew is still on your roster. Why? Running backs have a short shelf life, and it's time to go. It's time to get out of there and start anew at the running back position. You've had problems off the field with him, and you just really haven't had a great offseason as far as upgrading. You're still at the bottom of your division, and that is with a team in the Titans who just are on the cusp of they can make the playoffs. Well, they're not making the playoffs now. When you have Andrew Luck in that division, the Colts went from winning 2 games to, well, we're back to where we started again. 13-3, 11-2, 11-5. You can have your 12-4 seasons. Those are back again, by the way. And the Texans aren't going anywhere either. So you have the Jacksonville Jaguars at the bottom yet again. Such a bad ending to a great start to a franchise. Really a bad ending so far as well. And my winner for this, I'm a bit torn. I have your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They assembled a secondary that could easily rival anyone in the NFL. But I really have to look at a team that is not really on the radar, and that is the Seattle Seahawks, a team that really has assembled a really great team, and they're just adding pieces to it. Russell Wilson goes into his second year. Marshawn Lynch goes in the starter, but he may have some competition going forward. And Christine Michael, a guy that's very, very talented, a little problems off the field. You upgrade at wide receiver a little bit. Sidney Rice is pretty good, but you get Percy Harvin as well. Wow, you really have done a lot of great things, and now this defense has another year under Pete Carroll, and it's just going to get better. Brandon Browner, Richard Sherman, Cam Chancellor. These guys are they're headhunters, and they don't let wide receivers get off the line. So it's something I really like to see, and they're a physical team. They are very defensive oriented. They're not going to let you score a lot. And teams like the Patriots, teams like the 49ers, an in-division rival, teams like that are going to have a lot of problems with trying to put up offensive numbers.
I think it's going to be that NFC West is going to be a nice battle this year, and those 2 top teams. I mean, we both named 2 teams out of that darn conference. I mean, that division. So it should be fun. That should be a fun division to watch.
Well, Rick, it was great having you on the show, and I know I took a couple extra minutes out of your great vacation, so I appreciate you coming on the show during your vacation. Enjoy it, man, and get ready for the NFL because it's going to be a grind, so enjoy it.
Hey, I appreciate it, and if you don't mind, since you let me hang this time, follow me on Twitter at RickBrown91. Follow my work, theledger.com, TheLedger.com. But follow me on Twitter because we have a good time at RickBrown91.
All right, Rick. Rick. Thanks for coming on.
All right, peace.
And that was Rick Brown, Lakeland Ledger beat writer. Great having him on. Always one of the best guests we always have on. Friend of this show. Always great to have him on. Rapping with Rick Brown is one of our favorite segments, and you, the fans, are the folks that are out there asking for this. So we continue to give the fans what they want. You can also hit me up on Twitter at Perdue Sports. You can hit us up on Twitter as well at Heavy in the Games, HeavyInTheGames. We have a couple great things going on at Heavy in the Games. Got a lot of coverage as well. The NBA free agency has started. The NFL season's around the corner. College football is around the corner, so stay tuned. Visit HeavyInTheGames.com for all the latest in the sports world. Anything that you need from, again, free agency as well as the preseason hype. College football is right around the corner, and everyone wants to know what type of team will their team look like this year? Who are the top 25? Who are the top 10 quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, cornerbacks? Who are the top guys going into the draft? We have plenty of things in the pipeline right now, but you got to stay tuned to HeavyInTheGames.com for all the latest. I'm Fred Perdue. I am your host, and I am